We got another earthquake?
Yep, I think
Here
so.
we go.
Another earthquake.
Oh my God, I'm lifting up! Sean, ow!
This is a wedgie! That is an ultimate!
For every TV show you see, there are professionals who work around the clock behind the scenes to make sure that everything is perfect. But no matter how hard you work, some moments happen that leave everyone completely stunned. In this video, we'll count down some of the craziest and most shocking moments in television history, which many people agree took things just a bit too far. Get ready to stroll down memory lane, or at the very least, have your jaw drop. Join us as we have a look at 10 shocking TV moments that went too far. Earthquake on live TV. On a windy night in July of 2019, a magnitude 6.9 earthquake hit the Northeast California region, literally at the same time that the Los Angeles Dodgers were playing the San Diego Padres.
I'm up.
We got another earthquake?
Yep, I think so.
Here we go.
Did you notice the video shaking?
We're moving a lot right now. Woo.
Well, that's not the cameraman's fault. It was literally the effect of the earthquake on the television cameras. According to reports, the earthquake was so crazy that fans could literally see the upper decks and foul poles of Dodger Stadium shaking. But the most insane part of this entire thing was that the game never stopped. Fortunately, everyone was able to leave the venue without getting hurt, but still, it was a crazy gamble. An overzealous imitator. They say that imitation is the best form of flattery, but after watching this next clip, you may not necessarily think that saying is true. Back in 2012, a British woman named Lorna Bliss decided to audition for Britain's Got Talent. The competition had seen some outlandish performances over the years, but Lorna decided to take things up a notch. Lorna's goal was to perform a remix of Britney Spears' famous song, Till the World Ends, and in true Britney fashion, she came in looking the part. From the styled hair to the fishnet outfit, Lorna was ready to slay everyone, but even though all eyes were on her, it was her performance that really got tongues wagging. She literally went full Britney, even going as far as doing this on stage. Lorna's performance was as entertaining as it was shocking, but even with her jaw-dropping act, the judges decided she wasn't necessarily what they were looking for. Ouch! Nicki goes nuclear. If there's one thing that we all know about Nicki Minaj, it's that she's never particularly been scared to speak her mind. Nicki's fearsome and no-nonsense approach to her art is exactly why many of her fans adore her, but sometimes it's also gotten her into a bit of hot water. For our next clip, we'll take you back to 2015. Nicki was off a massive high after the success of her Anaconda single and music video, but she also felt slighted by some media outlets after she felt that Taylor Swift had gotten more plays for her project 1989. The whole thing went back and forth, with Nicki and Taylor eventually settling things. However, this wasn't before Miley Cyrus, another pop star, weighed in and declared that she was Team Swift. At the MTV Video Music Awards that year, Taylor and Nicki officially made up, as Taylor presented the rapper with the Best Hip Hop Video Award, but instead of reveling in her win, Nicki decided to come out swinging.
And now, back to this that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good?
This moment turned into gold and drew a lot of reactions, and it's still one of the most iconic award show moments of the past decade. Friendly fire. These days, politics in America can get pretty ugly. It's almost like Democrats and Republicans just can't seem to get along. But regardless of what side of the political spectrum you fall into, I think that we can all agree that there should be some sense of civility in our political discourse. Over the years, though, we've seen politics become really strange, but I never particularly thought that two politicians on the same side would have so much beef with each other. Back in 2022, a few Republicans came together for a debate to determine who would represent the state of Ohio on Capitol Hill. All of a sudden, John Mandel and Mike Gibbons, two of the candidates, decided to get just a little bit chippy with each other. Now, disagreeing with an opponent would be a normal thing in politics. I mean, that's why we even have these debates in the first place. However, Mandel and Gibbons decided to really dial things up a notch, and it was absolutely shocking to see.
You may not understand this because you've
I
never been
understand
in the
it fully.
private. No, you don't.
I do.
You've never been in the
I
private
understand it.
sector in your
All right,
entire
gentlemen.
life.
I've worked, sir.
Josh, squat about
Two tours in Iraq.
And you want to know the craziest thing about it? Neither of them ended up winning the election. Talk about some wasted efforts. Malice at the Palace. If you're a basketball fan, this is definitely one of those days that would live in infamy in your mind. The day was November the 19th of 2014, and the location? The Palace of Auburn Hills, Michigan. The Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers squared off in an NBA match that already had some interesting bad blood, both between the teams and the individual players. With the match already being pretty physical, everything turned to a head with just about 46 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Indiana was ahead 97-82 when the Pacers' Ron Artest fouled Detroit's Ben Wallace.
In the 12, all 5 starters in double figures. And the Pacers have played a very intelligent game tonight.
Then Wallace is fouled, and Wallace did. Oh!
Wallace's reaction was to be expected, and it wasn't so out of line. The two players eventually became ejected from the game, but the real drama unfolded a moment later. With Artest on the scorer's table, a fan apparently threw a cup of beer at him from the stands, and that action was enough to set Artest off, and boy did he erupt.
The problem is, if Wallace is ejected, I'm not sure, he'd have to walk past the Pacer bench to go. Now Artest has jumped over the scorer's table and is trying to...
Interestingly, Artest had actually been subdued before he was able to hurt the fan in any way, but the fact that he charged at someone and caused the whole scuffle was enough for him to get a season-long suspension. To this day, the Malice at the Palace remains one of the most infamous moments in NBA history, and I think it's easy to see why. JetBlue Flight 292. On a sunny day in September of 2005, a JetBlue flight tagged Flight 292 departed from an airport in Burbank, California. However, a few moments after takeoff, the pilots discovered the aircraft's landing gear was faulty. Making an emergency landing immediately would have been too risky. The flight was scheduled for many hours, and the aircraft itself still carried a lot of fuel. And so, they decided to simply keep the plane afloat for as long as possible to burn up some fuel and give an emergency landing a try. The situation eventually alerted television channels, which immediately began streaming the entire ordeal.
Yeah, we're watching this high-definition picture, Bill, and we can see actually from our location with that high-definition camera that you can even see from here that the wheel is...
Fortunately, though, the flight was able to land safely in the end.
The landing gear.
He's now slowing down as best he can.
And that was a close one. I mean, imagine what the scene would have been if things went south. Unwanted guest. These days, news stations are pretty much guarded in the way that they operate. Newscasters are under heavy scrutiny, and access to them is quite difficult to get. However, something bizarre took place back in 1987 that stunned everyone in the news space. While working on live television, notable newsman David Horowitz was suddenly interrupted when a man walked onto his live set and threatened him.
Because, you know, one of the nicest things about shopping by mail order... Pardon me? What is this?
The entire thing may have seemed like a prank, but it actually wasn't. Apparently, the news station had invited the guy to the set as a guest, and he decided to hijack the entire thing. He claimed that he had been a CIA-created clone on the trail of a grand conspiracy. When Horowitz finally read the script he was given, the guy claimed that the weapon he carried was a fake, but that didn't stop the police from arresting him immediately. The Wedgie Conundrum. For our next video, we'll take you back to 2014 on the reality television show Debate Your Fate. Here, hosts Sean Klitzner and Samantha Shaker debate several issues, with the audience judging who the winner is. In this section, Sam and Sean debated the topic of cheating and infidelity in relationships. They had made their points, examining the different dynamics that could lead to a person cheating on their partner, but at the end of the day, Sean would be declared the winner. It looks like people who don't like being the victims of infidelity, huh? Who knew? Anyways, Sean was given the opportunity to spin a wheel to determine Sam's punishment, and this is what happened.
Come on.
No.
Stop.
No.
Wedgie Miller.
No.
Wedgie Miller. Boom. Yes. Yes. I wanted this one so bad.
Well, a deal's a deal, and Sam had to surrender herself for the almighty wedgie.
There. This?
Yes.
You feel that?
Oh my God, that's
the end of
already.
it? All right, you guys ready? You ready for this?
Go slow, please.
Okay. All right. All right.
My stomach!
That isn't.
Honestly, I just have no words in this. Absolutely no words whatsoever. I mean, what the heck, man? The Dame's Smooch. Late-night television hosts have quite the interesting job. They have to be engaging and polite to their interviewees, and many of them have been vocal about the challenge of dealing with some really uncomfortable situations. Back in 2016, Stephen Colbert, one of the most popular late-night show hosts, got a literal surprise while introducing Dame Helen Mirren on his show. Customarily, Stephen stands up to greet a guest as they're introduced, but instead of a handshake or a hug, Dame Mirren did this.
Please welcome Dame Helen Mirren.
One can only imagine the conversation he'd have with his wife later that evening. Good girl no more. For this final clip, we'll be recounting an infamous moment that included someone you've already seen before, that being Miley Cyrus. It may seem like ages ago, but there was a time when we all knew Miley as Hannah Montana, America's sweetheart. However, in the early 2010s, Miley decided to embrace herself and shed her good girl image. From her risque videos to her lyrics, this was one woman who was coming into her own. Still, though, things did not go so smoothly. At the 2013 VMAs, she performed Blurred Lines, her hit collaboration with Robin Thicke, and there she decided to dance suggestively on the much older Robin. While fans had enjoyed her transformation, many agreed that this was just a bridge too far. But it's good to know that there's a line not to be crossed at least. Honestly, it feels pretty weird thinking about some of these things and how they really happened. But you know what's even more weird? Thinking about the crazy moments that are still to come. But what do you think? Did we miss any iconically shocking moments here? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.